Alright everyone, I'm back again. Same drive, a few minutes later, not even. Figured I'd take a break and come back. So, I just got done with some stuff, and I'm on my drive here. Got a decent drive, so I figured try to make this a more normal thing. If I don't have anything going on, I'll just talk and maybe upload this or whatever, if I have the ability to, because I know that my between the tablet and the internet issues, sometimes it doesn't want to read the, whatever you want to call it, read the video media and upload or what have you. So, yeah, that's, to be determined. Today I saw a lady, an older lady, and she was leaving, so I made sure to get the doors open for her and whatnot, and I think she was just very surprised and happy about that. It's good to treat people the right way and whatnot. And she says, quote unquote, chivalry is not dead. So let's keep it that way as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if these are like old school type of morals or whatever that you want to say, but kind of old fashioned like that. It's like get the door for people, that kind of thing. If you can open a door for someone, you should do it. Anything you can do, kind of thing. Just don't be a pain to people and whatnot. Don't let people become a pain to you. Don't get upset about things so easily. Realize everything happens for a reason type deal. So I'm not sure if anyone can hear all the great noises from driving with the wind coming through and all of that. Apologize if so. Hopefully you can hear me okay. This is my old area. I used to be real familiar with this area. So heading back to a couple familiar places here. Hopefully this is just something where you can just kind of put it on while you're driving or whatever, just listen to it. If I end up uploading these, I hope people can leave some comments or whatever. You can feel free to ask me whatever you like. Got some ice or something on the road here. That's not fun. Water's pretty high. Not real high, but high enough to see. That's another thing. Might as well just start on a new little topic here about cars in winter, especially if you live in an area where you get a lot of snow or ice, whatever. You have to drive a lot. Highly recommend putting in a lot of effort, whatnot, to prepare yourself for these winters and whatnot. You've seen part 1 that I was talking about with electric and water, that kind of stuff. Just a short little rundown of a few things you can do. As for the whole car situation, whether you have a car breakdown or you get snowed in, you just don't want to drive, whatever the situation is, it's always good to make sure you have good tires, make sure your car works right. I always tell people to get spare tires, all kinds of that stuff. Same thing for part 1, the same stuff that you should be having already or getting right now that I was mentioning. Candles, food, portable food, non-electric things. Get that kind of stuff, and keep a lot of that kind of stuff in your car too. I carry a fire extinguisher, jumper cables, that's a huge one. Don't be afraid to help some other people out, because they're going to be getting into some situations too. And if you don't have it rough, someone else will. So, and you can be, everything go perfectly well for you, and you get hit by a car, or you slide off the road, or, you just can't account for any of it. So, you might as well just prepare for it, instead of, getting yourself financially in a position where you lose out on a lot of things because you don't prepare. You put all your money into stuff that doesn't matter, and then you try to expect to live paycheck to paycheck or whatever have you here, and then you don't have money to fix a car when you need to, or whatnot. And I will tell you this, it's worth money to put into a car as opposed to fixing the car after it's too late, after you get in a wreck, and then you have to deal with the whole nonsense of court, where no matter what happens, people get fined and, time off work or whatever guaranteed. Any of that kind of stuff. Injuries, have hospital bills. You never can tell. And I'm not the type of person where if something happens to me, I want to go and blame someone else or try to rip them off or whatever, get insurance involved and whatnot. Insurance, that's a whole other thing. As for the courts, all for, all further down the line. But let's just keep it fairly calm and to the point at the moment. We've got tons of topics to speak of at some point. Let's work into that instead of just throwing it all at you. This is just kind of basic, common sense stuff to have, prepare for. These were some good times out this way back in the day. Old enough to be a little bit older than everyone, but young enough to not be too old type deal. Which people know my age, they might be like, oh, you're not old, you're not this or that. So, yeah, but when mentally you're far ahead of most people for the majority of, 5-6 years at least, and you're around teenagers most of the time, and you just see them, their nonsense and making mistakes and different things like that. It's rare to find one that's, I shouldn't say one, it's rare to find quite a few in one select area that have, whether it's morals or, basic common sense or work ethic, whatever you want to say. They do the right things, they don't cause problems, they don't make problems worse, they don't complain all the time, that kind of thing, because that's what's going to get you through a lot of times. You do things sometimes within reason that you might not want to do. You work extra, or you put in extra effort, or you learn how to do things that other people don't choose not to learn or choose not to do after they've learned it. That'll get you really far. And whether people, give you attention or kind of congratulate you or give you gratification or whatever phrase you like to use, they're seeing it. And it might take them a while to realize it or whatnot, but the right people will notice you when it's time. And sometimes it feels pretty good, especially for people that kind of quiet, they stay to themselves, they don't like to bother too many people. I mean actually bother them, I don't mean in the sense of I don't mean talking to people or whatever, reaching out. It's another thing I'm really hoping to get back into. Kind of try to reconnect with some people. Majority of people I try to reconnect with, they have trouble communicating back, or conversation goes nowhere type thing, or lose contact. It's like then a year goes by, a few years goes by, and then you try to message them again, or call them or whatever, you can't catch them on the phone, you can't get text back, nothing. Or they'll try to say like, oh, I don't know you that well, blah blah blah, or I haven't talked to you in so long, I don't need you type thing. And that's exactly one of the main problems with the world. Everybody wants to try to be selfish and they want to do their own thing, but yet they cut everyone off. They don't appreciate the help. They don't appreciate that you care for them. The thing is about people who do well, are doing pretty well for themselves mentally, whatever way, they feel good. Like for me, if I feel really good, usually I'm always trying to help others. So, that kind of messes with people mentally when you do everything right and it's still not good. And that's a whole subject. That's not just a certain age thing or just to do with like friends or family or coworkers or acquaintances, whatever you'd like to say. It's a lot of different things. So that's the whole situation there. I totally understand that whole stress of life in general, whether it's finances or it's, just a lot of different things. If you have a difference of opinion than someone, or, back in the day it was a lot simpler. It's much simpler. And when I say back in the day, I don't mean before I was here 30 plus years ago. Oh, I got someone riding my tail here. That's nice. Didn't notice that. So anywho, just go back 10 years, something like that, and you can see how things have changed for the worse. There's very few things that are better. Inherently, there's people that aren't here that used to be. Miss them all the time. People that cared and whatnot. People that were treated wrong. You just try to treat everyone right. If you try to make someone's day, try to help them, at least you're doing what you're trying to do. And anyone else's opinion can kick rocks for all I care. You're doing something right, and you know you're doing something right. Don't get upset if someone doesn't appreciate it, or someone mocks you, or what have you type deal. It's not going to do anything for anyone. And that comes with the whole mental thing too. And mentally, a lot of people, I don't know if they're too young or just not mature or have the experience or not want to. I'm not sure. I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for what I've seen and some assumptions I can make, and some things I've thought, whatnot. I know there's people that care a lot more than they act about each other and whatnot. It's like, you're not doing any good for anyone. You're not doing good for yourself. Treat yourself right. Treat others right. And you'll feel better. I guarantee you. If you feel terrible one day or whatever, you wake up and you're just in a terrible mood. You have, I don't know, something's just not right that day. You could, just try to talk to some people. A lot of people, they'll just talk to you and whatnot. Call up some people you haven't talked to. Talk to some family. Talk to some friends. Meet some new people. Be nice to people if you're working somewhere and you're around people, whether you're coworkers or for the job itself. You can, make some social effort. Go for it. Why not? You never know what you can get out of it. Make you feel better. You'll get more comfortable in social situations if you're not a social person. Some people, they like to get out of the house and whatnot every now and then. They just want someone to talk to. Maybe they don't have anyone. Maybe you'll make their day. Maybe they'll make your day. I'll tell you that. It happens. It does happen sometimes. But it's always going to come down to you as a person to make the right decisions and put in the effort. Because sadly, the majority of people, I would say, they kind of just go along with everything. They don't change things up. They feel like it. They won't take a risk. They won't go out of their way to talk to some people or whatever. Or they'll judge people, or they'll hold grudges or hold things against people from years ago. I'll tell you this, when I was in school and whatnot, there was a lot of people back until about high school that, there's always someone didn't like somebody. I didn't really like, some people. A lot of people didn't like me, I'm sure. Now, I can talk to any of them, I'm sure. Even if I don't like them, they don't like me. We can get along and whatnot. Frankly, over the last 5-6 years or so, I haven't really been able to talk to a whole lot of people that I went to school with or that I worked with or, that kind of thing. So I always take it as a blessing when you get the chance to come across someone or whatnot. You know, sometimes you're really busy and whatnot, working or whatever, whether at the time or just in general. Just it's good to come across people again, see how they're doing. You know, sometimes they will come back and say, you know, just ask them, how's your day going today? You know, just have a genuine concern. Don't be sarcastic about it or anything like that. Your body language is important too. A lot of people buy a lot into your body language, whether you mean to, you know, do something or not. It can be taken a certain way. So, you know, just talk to people like you talk to anyone else. It's just the whole everyone, you know, working on the same level type thing, where if you treat others right, hopefully you get treated right. You know, they'll see the effort that you put in sometimes. Somebody will at some point. But yeah, I've actually came pretty far so far. Driving wise, I'm pretty close to my destination here. I was actually fairly surprised that I just kind of started talking, and we're over 20 minutes now between both videos, so hopefully you check out part 1 as well. I'm just going to say this is part 2 because I didn't want to leave a whole lot of dead air there. I kind of stumbled in there at the end. Said, well, I better just kind of cut this here and come back. And within 30 seconds or so, I thought of some other stuff to talk about. And, you know, I understand there's people, hopefully like me, that their minds just go so fast and whatnot, and they physically have trouble slowing down, and they always have stuff going on, and then when people like myself are around others, they can't really understand what's going on, or they'll think it's funny or whatever. It's like I don't get offended by it. It's just like I realize my intellect and my effort, and then I want to learn things and I want to do things properly, and not everybody's going to understand that, especially at first, and you just kind of have to not let it bother you and go on with what you're doing and keep doing the right things, treating yourself right, surviving the nonsense of everything in life, the way things are set up, and just you know, I understand how things are on a deep level, and I understand why so many people are so upset, and why so many people shut themselves off, and why so many people argue and find reasons to divide amongst themselves. But really there's no logical reason for it. I understand that a lot of people are busy with things and that kind of thing. Just try to do what you can. You know, I understand pretty much all of it. Been through a lot of nonsense up and down. I've had a lot of friends at once. I've had little friends at once. I've had, you know, come and go friends. I've had friends that were like my best friends all the time. You don't know. And then life changes where you're the only one of your friends working or driving or living by yourself, or, you know, just taking care of things like you should be. And then you're the only one not working, or, you know, whatever. So it's always good to just take your opportunities and kind of go with it. Don't put yourself at any danger or anything like that, working wise, and that. Just be smart, be respectful, be appreciative, and people will catch on. Try to understand people if they're in a bad mood or whatever, whether it's all the time or not, or they're treating you badly. They must be having it rough. They might have a lot worse than we do. That's all I can say. So that might be the situation. And really, there's no point in getting upset about anything like that. Within reason, if you can't control something, don't get upset about it, but try to control things if you can. Control as much as you can. That's a good thing. If you can control things on a certain level and control your own life, your own decisions, control getting ahead of things now before you have to worry about it later or whatnot. So, yep, I'm actually at my destination now, so I feel like that was a pretty good talk, and hopefully there will be more to come pretty soon. So, thank you for checking out the video. You guys have a good day.